Hello, this is Janet Michael. In addition to hosting The Valley Today each weekday at noon on the River 95.3, I also produce podcasts, and I'm excited to introduce you to a new podcast series in partnership with Lord Fairfax Community College. Having provided higher education and career training for the past half-century, LFCC is tightly interwoven into the fabric of the Northern Shenandoah Valley and Piedmont regions. Join me every week for conversations with current and former students to hear their funny and inspiring stories as we learn about their journey to higher education, the role that LFCC has played, where they are now, and where they plan to go. We'll also talk to current and former professors about their experiences and best memories of LFCC over the past 50 years. Get every single episode as they're released on our website at theriver953.com under the podcast tab, or you can subscribe for free in Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, on Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search for LFCC Stories. Hello and welcome to The Valley Today. I am your host, Janet Michael. Happy Tuesday as you are listening to the show today. It is Tourism Tuesday, Winchester, Frederick County edition. We have pre-recorded our conversation, of course, though, on the Zoom screen, and you are not going to hear Justin Kearns' voice from the Winchester Frederick County Convention and Visitors Bureau, but you'll notice I managed to work that in because now that I've learned how to say it, I need to say it every show. Justin is a bit under the weather. I hope he is feeling much better today, but that is not going to stop us for talking about something cool that is happening in Winchester. It is Winchester Restaurant Week, and I have on the Zoom screen with me today, John David Smith. I was joking with him a second ago before we started recording. He is one of the founders of Winchester Main Street Foundation. He is the co-owner of Water Street Kitchen and the owner of Village Square Restaurant and V2 Oyster Bar and Lounge. Oh, and he's the mayor of Winchester. So, John, thank you so much for taking some time to chat with me on the Zoom today.
Well, thanks for having me, and I'm glad to be here. It just breaks up my day a little bit.
Hey, I am all in. You are coming to my rescue, and I appreciate, with Justin being under the weather, I appreciate that I was still able to keep it tourism related for today's show.
Absolutely, and I hope Justin is doing better.
So let's start with the Winchester Main Street Foundation. Can you tell me what it is and why it got started?
Yes, absolutely. So I used to be on the Old Town Development Board. I used to be the chairman of the Old Town Development Board. And what it does is that it manages everything that happens in Old Town Winchester. We are the stewards of the stakeholders' investment. And so being in government, you realize that your hands are tied, so you can't do certain things. So you can't put on events that have, let's say, alcohol attached to it, or those kind of things. There wasn't enough events going on in Old Town to draw people in. And there's only so many that we could do. So we decided that once we got off of the board, me and 3 others that were on the board, we decided to start our own nonprofit organization, which is called Winchester Main Street Foundation. And a couple of us, well, there was 5 of us and 4 of us, we own property in Old Town. And so it was very near and dear to our hearts to see Old Town become very vibrant. And so we started coming up with these different events, seeing what other localities and communities they were doing. And so that's how we became to be. And that's how Restaurant became to be.
Restaurant Week is going on right now as people are listening to the show. It started off on Monday, runs through Saturday, and this is the 6th year that you guys have managed to put that off. So that screams that it's been successful. Otherwise, you wouldn't have done it after year 1 or year 2.
It has. We started off doing it once a year in September. We try to find the slowest time of the year that restaurants were, if you will, suffering. They weren't having any business. So generally it's the first 2 or 3 weeks in September. It's when on vacation, their last vacation, they're coming back, getting kids ready for school. They're getting acclimated to all the after school programs. So you weren't seeing people coming into restaurants. And so there was like a 3 to 4 week lull. So we had to choose one of those weeks that we're going to draw these people back out to the restaurants. And then after a few years, some of the restaurants came to us and said, can you do it twice a year? because January and February were also slow time. So we were doing it twice a year then. We had more restaurants in the beginning and then it just sort of backed off a little bit. But then we opened it up. It used to be Old Town Restaurant Week, and we opened it up to Winchester. So it was all of Winchester. And we had restaurants from Stevens City participating. So
Nice.
that we make from Restaurant Week, which isn't a whole lot, it pays for other events throughout the year to be absolutely free to people. So it's one of our flagships that helps Celebration of Winchester happen. So we don't charge people for those events.
And that's kind of the perk too, you mentioned it a minute ago, to having this nonprofit to do that, because governmental agencies their hands are tied to be able to put on a lot of these kinds of things. So it really does make it easier for somebody to come in and make it a more simplified event and do all of the things instead of piecemeal it out.
Right. We know our community and we can work with the different businesses and the different restaurants to make things happen for them. And I'll give you something small. So like there's a fee of $125 to participate. The participation form is an invitation. So just because you're invited doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be accepted. And the reason for that is because our community is so close knitted that if people aren't following the rules for a restaurant week, they'll call and tell us. And then we might not invite you back the next time. That's why we call it an invitation as opposed, it's just open to everybody.
And that makes sense because you're right. I mean, as somebody who was born and raised in Winchester, if you're going to promote an event that is supposed to be a certain way, and I come to that event with that expectation, then it better be that certain way, or I'm going to be one of those that are complaining and looking for somebody to call out.
And people do. I've had people leave a restaurant and call me and
well, and it's not like you're putting these things in place that are unreasonable. I mean, I think from what I gather from looking at the website at winchesterrestaurantweek.com, you can participate all week, or you can set a particular day that you want to participate, as long as you're doing what you say you're going to do on those specific days.
Right. For the most part, I would say 90% of the restaurants that participate, they do exactly what they need to do because they want people to come back. But we've had some where if you got 4 people going out and 2 people want the restaurant menu and the other 2 people just want the regular menu, then they're being told, well, either everybody does it or nobody does it. It's like, no, that's not how it works. An option, you give people a choice.
And a lot of the restaurants, is there a uniform offer, or is it different depending on which restaurant you go to, what you're getting during restaurant week?
They're all different. So this is the time where we let chefs just event themselves, just to be exciting about their menus, create what they want to create. And they do that to bring people in who want to come back. If you're going to put a boring menu, nobody's going to want to go, or they're not going to want to come back. We have one restaurant that it's difficult for them to do a separate menu, so they want to participate, but what they're doing is you buy one meal and you get the other meal 50% off. So you can have 4 people there, can eat for half price.
That's my kind of deal.
So you can literally take a cheap date out if you want.
Well, and I love it too, because it does give a lot of the chefs in these restaurants the ability maybe to try something new, something that they were hesitant to actually put on the menu, but they can put it out there, and everybody who participates in Restaurant Week can be taste testers. And if it's a huge hit, then it may stay on the menu.
Exactly. And that's how they are testing the waters to see what people like and if they can put that on the menu. Now, how often can a couple go out to a nice restaurant and have a 3-course meal between the both of them for $60?
It's not possible. Not if it's a good meal.
Yeah. And they're not skimpy on the plates, that's for sure. So you get a lot of food.
So this isn't a situation where you're getting this discounted price, but you're also getting a smaller sample of what you would have normally gotten. It's pretty much the same as what you would get if you ordered it off the menu. You're just being encouraged to come try something new or come to somewhere you haven't been for a while.
Right. If you put something small in the menu and people come, oh, well, this is the serving size, and I don't know about coming back. But but it's the first impression for many people. And sometimes it's the first time they've been in your doors and they basically want to experience that.
Well, and it makes sense too, because a lot of times, I'm hesitant to try someplace new just because I go where I know I like what's on the menu. We all have our favorite places and our go to foodie places. But
Hmm.
if I can go somewhere and try something new and it's not going to cost me full price,
Right.
then I'm going to take advantage of that. And maybe then gets added to the list of my favorite places that I go on a regular basis.
Absolutely. So I travel a lot, and we were in London one week, and they were having restaurant week. Friends of ours said, "Well, it's a good time to try some of the most expensive restaurants in town. Let's go to restaurant week." And I was like, "Well, how expensive are they?" And they said, "It's really cheap right now. Let's go." And so all week long, we were going to these really nice restaurants, great food, and so we decided that we would do that here in Winchester.
And 6 years later, it's still going strong.
6 years later, yep.
Well, let's take a quick commercial break. When we come back, can we talk about which of the restaurants are participating? And I want to make sure we touch a little bit too on the fact that it's not always come in, sit down and eat. Some of these restaurants are offering takeout options during
Yeah.
restaurant week. Can we get into the details about that in the next segment?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to continue our conversation with John David Smith. He is with the Winchester Main Street Foundation and is the co-owner of Water Street Kitchen and the owner of Village Square Restaurant, V2 Oyster Bar and Lounge. He is the mayor of Winchester and my guest, my last minute fill-in guest for Tourism Tuesday. We'll be back to continue our conversation about Winchester Restaurant Week in just a couple of minutes.
Got a financial decision to make or a goal to reach, but you don't know where to start? You've come to the right place. Introducing Quick Money Chats with the Northern Shenandoah Valley Financial Education Program. Visit tinyurl.com/quickmoneychat to schedule a virtual chat with a staff member or trained volunteer. We won't tell you what to do, but we will give you the tools you need to choose wisely. And because Virginia Cooperative Extension is part of Virginia Tech and Virginia State, your land-grant universities, you can be sure that our information is credible and trustworthy. And you'll know that we aren't trying to sell you something. Maybe you want to improve your credit score, or reduce your banking overdraft fees, or even figure out if you can afford to buy that car. Sorting through tons of information on the internet can be overwhelming, and sometimes it can be hard to know who to trust. Schedule a Quick Money Chat and get the information you need to take action. Go to tinyurl.com/quickmoneychat and get financial education personalized for you.
Welcome back to the Valley today. I am your host, Janet Michael. Happy Tuesday as you are listening to the show today. It is Tourism Tuesday, Winchester, Frederick County edition. We are on the Zoom screen pre-recording our conversation with John David Smith. He is telling us all about Winchester Restaurant Week. It is now in its 6th year and it is happening this week. Right now, you can run out probably as soon as you're done listening to the show and grab lunch, more than likely, from one of these restaurants. So, John, give me the list of the restaurants that are participating this year.
Okay, so we have Cork Street Tavern, Pavilion, Union Jack Pub and Restaurant, Village Square Restaurant, Violino's, and Water Street Kitchen.
And it's cool because each of those restaurants are unique in their menu and their experience when you go in to enjoy a meal there.
They are. And they've been for, I think, besides Village Square and Violino's, probably the ones that have been doing this the longest.
So Village Square Restaurant, I guess, since you're one of the owners, did you come in and say, hey, we're doing this, y'all figure it out? I mean, how nice were you when you put this idea together to your staff to make them participate?
Probably just as nice as you said it.
Now, I mentioned before we went to break that some of the restaurants are also offering takeout. How does that work?
All the restaurants are doing takeouts. When we did the application this year, we specifically said, please offer takeout as well as dine in since we are under a pandemic. And a lot of people are still uncomfortable with coming out, but at least they can see the wonders of the great food that's being put out. And the restaurants, they were fine with it because any dollar, no matter what shape or form it comes in, is a dollar, especially now. So whether it's eat in or takeout, it doesn't matter.
Well, and I would imagine takeout to a restaurant is similar to when we get takeout here at home. If I don't have to wash the dishes and clear the table and clean up after it, it's a better meal just because I don't have all that labor involved.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And the thing that we strive to is you get the same quality of food as though you were in the restaurant, as though it's coming to your home. So it shouldn't change.
Now, I know we're recording this on late on a Monday afternoon. People, of course, are listening to it on Tuesday at noon, but we've got some pretty decent days of weather, I think, coming ahead in the next couple of days. I believe 60 degrees and sunny on
Yeah,
Wednesday. So it's going to be the perfect opportunity for people to get out and walk the Old Town Mall and enjoy Restaurant Week.
absolutely. And hopefully the snow would have melted. Mostly all the restaurants, they have the outdoor heater. So if it's a bit chilly, then they can still sit outside and have the heaters going. We're getting close to spring and we're getting hopefully towards the end of the pandemic, keeping my fingers crossed that we can get back to normal.
Hey, I'm thinking that even if we're not as close as we all hope that we are to the end of this pandemic, Shenandoah University and Valley Health are knocking it out of the park, getting these vaccinations done. So whether the pandemic is over or not, we're all going to be vaccinated and still be in good shape.
I'm glad you mentioned that. So I was out there this morning volunteering. It's so great to see all these people come through the doors to get vaccinated. And but we need to get the word out to the more underserved communities out there. They have these fears. We need to say that nothing's going to happen to you. You're not going to grow 3 eyes or anything like that. I've had my first shot. I still look the same, but but please go out and get vaccinated.
And I think that's key. There have been enough vaccinations, I think, now across the country, across the world, that if something horrible were going to happen, we would have known about it by now. So go get your go reserve your spot in line and get it done.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then they can come downtown to Old Town Winchester and have a meal to celebrate.
They can. They can.
So if somebody wants more information about Winchester Restaurant Week, do you guys have, I know you have a website, winchesterrestaurantweek.com. Do you have social media outlets that people can find you on Facebook?
Yep. They can go on Facebook. They can go to Restaurant Week Winchester and or Winchester Restaurant Week. I've been posting every day for about a week and a half, been spotlighting each restaurant on a different day, spotlighting our sponsors. And I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Murphy Beverage, one of your competitors, iHeart Media, sorry.
Hey, next year we'll take over.
Okay, absolutely. We have Winchester Main Street, which is the host, and Web Strategies, which is also one of our sponsors. And we want to thank them. They've been doing it every year. They've been involved in the community and much appreciated. The menus are on our Facebook page, and you can find each restaurant and each of their menus that they're offering.
What are you guys doing at Water Street Kitchen? Since you're a co-owner, can you give me a quick rundown? What does your menu look like normally, and what are you guys offering during Restaurant Week?
Water Street is a different beast. We have the same menu that just lunch and dinner. And so to make it easy for our kitchen, because our kitchen is really, really tiny over there, if we were to do a different menu, it would take us off our stride of providing really good food for our clients. So how about if we give them a deal, they buy one entree, we give them the next entree 50% off. And I said, that works for me. And so they're doing that, but all the other restaurants are doing 3 courses. Let's say Cork Street, for example. You want me to go to Cork Street?
And I got to tell you, Cork Street Tavern has the best club sandwich on the planet. And my husband thinks it's hilarious that I think that. He said, it's a club sandwich. How can you screw that up? I said, hey, I've had them. Not so great. Club sandwiches at Cork Street are the bomb.
Well, I can tell you club sandwiches are one of my favorite sandwiches. And I had a club sandwich for lunch one because I didn't want to spoil my dinner. So let's say like Cork Street, what they're offering this year for their menu, the appetizers are Philadelphia egg rolls, super skins, and bang bang shrimp. And their main courses, you get a 10-ounce whiskey sirloin steak, a full rack of ribs, or a surf and turf 6-ounce sirloin and a lobster tail. You get to choose between a chocolate toffee cheesecake or a Reese's peanut butter. And all that for $30.
Yeah, see, that's just, you can't go wrong with any
No.
one of those other than you're going to have to go 3 days out of restaurant week so you can try one of each of those entrees.
But we have 5 restaurants participating, 6 restaurants participating. So there's one restaurant for each day. And then on the 7th day, you can go back to one of your favorites.
Go back, yeah, and get something else. Like with Cork Street offering a couple of different options, you can go back to another one that you liked and try something different on the menu.
Yeah, or stay home one night and just order out.
That's perfect. My husband says we can't do takeout because we never get out of the parking lot of the restaurant that we're doing the takeout from, because he'd rather eat it there while it's still hot than wait until we get all the way back home in Middletown. So thankfully, that's another perk to Old Town Winchester. There's plenty of places to sit and eat right after we leave the restaurant.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, John, thank you for, like I said, coming to my rescue and giving me all the details for Winchester Restaurant Week today. I appreciate your time.
Oh, anytime that you need me to fill in for somebody, hey, just call me.
I'm going to warn Justin, his job may be in jeopardy. We are going to wrap up our conversation today. We have been talking about Winchester Restaurant Week. It is happening all week this week, February 22nd through the 27th through Saturday. And all of the details are at winchesterrestaurantweek.com. You can search Restaurant Week Winchester on Facebook and find it as well. I'll put links to everything in the show notes page. Tomorrow, it is the Valley Business Today, and we are talking Greater Good Awards. Danita is meeting me on the Zoom screen from the Top of Virginia Regional Chamber, and she is bringing all of the winners from 2020. So we're going to chat with all of them tomorrow. If you want to hear that conversation, meet me back here just a few minutes after noon.